Hi friends, welcome back to 24 Days of Comfort. This is a video every day till Christmas where we just hang out, relax, relieve some holiday stress. We keep it real. I don't know why I said it like that, but we're gonna talk books, mental health, hobbies, etc. Before we get started, we're doing a cozy check-in every day. So can you see if you can get 5% more comfortable? Take a deep breath at your own pace, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Getting extra oxygen and then relieving tension in your neck, your shoulders, your jaw, your back, your legs, settling into your seat. And then see if there's anything that you want, because this is your you time. Do you want a hot drink? Do you want to maybe stop this video, pause it, call someone? Is that what you were feeling like? Do you want to put your phone on Do Not Disturb? Anything you need. Maybe you want to journal or draw in the meantime. Whatever floats your boat. And then we can get started. Hi, I'm Fleur. If you're new here and this is your first video, welcome. I'm drinking a tea from my Puka tea advent calendar every day. We're rating them. Today is day 9, I believe, and this is peppermint and licorice. I'm gonna try it. Very gentle. So far all the flavors from the Puka tea calendar have felt very gentle, not very strong, which I don't know how I feel about it, but so far it's been good. It does taste good. I didn't rate yesterday's tea. I think it was like a 6.5. It was ginger, turmeric, and galangal. I don't know how to pronounce it. Still haven't figured it out, but it was my favorite. Pretty simple. I would rather have a fresh ginger tea. And this one, I'll rate it at the end if I remember to. We're in a bit of a different location. I'm downstairs right now. I'm on the couch. This is a painting that my grandpa made. And I think it's really beautiful. It's very colorful. It can be an eyesore if you see it every day for years and years. But because he made it, I still love it. But it's a lot. Yeah, depends on what your taste is, of course. But I'm always going to love it. I think that is also a good segue into today's video topic, because I want to talk about grief. I'm also filming on my phone, so it's very FaceTime-y, casual vibes. I have some peanut butter dates here as a snack. Don't knock it till you try it. But I think that this is a good segue into the topic of grief, because the holidays, are a very celebrated time, very romanticized time. There's lights, there's romance, there's presents, but we've talked about that part of the holidays, I guess, enough. But there's this whole loving, warm hug atmosphere, but at the same time, it is such a confronting and rough time for people. So I just wanted to give a little bit of an acknowledgement to that, I guess, and hold space and talk about it, because I've also had an experience in my life that has forever changed the way that I will look at Christmas and feel at Christmas. And for me, that is grief. Well, trigger warning, I am going to talk about death and loss and all that. So if you're not in the mood for that, that's totally okay. Maybe you can catch up on another video. Maybe you want to watch an ASMR video. It's all in the description box. Or maybe you just want to go outside, get some fresh air. That's also good. Whatever you want. But yeah, so this was made by my grandpa. He's luckily still with us. Unfortunately, grandpa does have dementia, so now when we celebrate Christmas, sometimes we talk about going to Norway for Christmas, because it's a big dream that we have with our family. But because of his health, and we don't know how long we'll have with him feeling good, we choose to stay here and spend it with our family here, which is great, and I'm very happy with that choice. But my other grandpa from my dad's side unfortunately passed away. I think it's almost 5 or 6 years ago now. 4 or 5, I think. And he passed away at Christmas. And that was horrible. And for my dad and his brother and sister, it was traumatizing. Because he had an accident at home. And my dad found him on the second day of Christmas. I said this in the beginning of the video series, but in the Netherlands, where I live, we celebrate Christmas for 3 days, kind of. So you have Christmas Eve, first day of Christmas, and then second day of Christmas, which is called Boxing Day for a lot of people, I think. But it's still a day of Christmas here, and that's the day that he had passed away, or in the night. And the night before, he'd spend it with my mom and dad and my dad's brother and everything, so my uncle. And then the next morning, our world was really upside down. 2 years before that, we'd lost our grandma, and I'm looking at a picture of them. It's on our wall. So I'm like looking at him as I'm talking about him. But my grandpa and grandma were a really lovely, beautiful couple and had been together for years and years. You know, one of those couples. I have their wedding year, 1964, on my arm tattooed. Because they are always going to be, for me, a really good representation of love and unconditional love. And I love them. But unfortunately, my grandma had passed away in 2019, and I think this was my grandpa's second Christmas without her, and he was just, you know, missing her every day and very sad, and he had health issues as well. But then that second Christmas day, he had passed away, so New Year's, I think I spent the day before New Year's at his funeral, which was a really odd experience. So the holiday period has definitely been tainted, if that's the word. And I know that there are very many other reasons why Christmas can be a horrible, confronting and lonely, sad time. Maybe you're living far away from family and not seeing loved ones, or your partner lives somewhere else, or you're not in contact with family members, or someone is very sick and you're in that phase of taking care of them and not knowing how much time you have with loved ones, and constant stress. Maybe there's a lot of pressure at your work. Maybe you are working during the holidays and there's a special something going on and you can't be with family. Like, there are so many reasons why people don't like the holidays, or you're dealing with mental illness or physical illness that just makes it hard to be happy and celebrate things, you know? It's all very valid, and I feel like the older that I'm getting, even though I'm very young, I see it all around me where Christmas is starting, you know, as you get older, it starts to feel a little bit more layered. And that is my personal experience as someone who did grow up with a very fun and worry-free type of holiday period. Aside from me always getting a fever or something because I'd been stressed the whole holiday period, and then when it was Christmas I would get sick. I mentioned this in a video before as well. But outside of that, I didn't have very many worries or things that were weighing down on my heart. In periods where I wasn't healthy, it was also difficult. With my burnout, Christmas was really difficult because I could only handle like 15 minutes at the Christmas dinner table, and then I would go back upstairs and come down for dessert, and that makes it feel weird when you can't really participate in things, when people are going out and partying, and I've had so many years where I couldn't do that. So yeah, just a little digital hug to you if you're struggling during the holidays, and maybe this year's the first year that you're really going through it, or you've been doing it for years. It can be very confronting, especially with all the ads. Everything is Christmas all the time. The music, the lights, people talking about it. So just wanted to come on here and talk about that for a second. Digitally hold your hand and know that you're not alone. The way that we have been going about it is, I think the year after his passing, I did this. I wrote a poem for my grandpa. Every year he would write an end of year poem, and he's from a specific part of the country where there's a very strong accent. Hij komt uit Twente. And so he would write the poem in a Twents, in that regional accent, but the writing is different as well. It was always really funny and witty and sharp, and I luckily have a video of me sitting at the dinner table with him and him reading it to me, which is very, very precious. I also still have a voicemail that I will never delete from my phone with his voice. But I wrote a poem on that day, and the first Christmas without him, I read the poem to the family, which was a really loving way to, you know, honor him and think about him. We also always mention them at the Christmas dinner, and we talk about it pretty openly, which helps because it's weighing down on all of us. And I also notice in myself that this time of year I think about them more, and I might start crying during this, but that's grief. But I'll think about them more. I'll see an old couple in town holding hands and walking around, and one of my biggest joys was when I would go into town and I would run into them, because it's always fun to run into, you know, families, oh my god, in the wild, and then seeing them walk hand in hand at old age. They were so adorable. And I really missed those moments of just going over to their house and chit-chatting and blah blah blah. So the holidays is a time of missing people, and it's confronting, and that's okay too. I do think that I'm happy that it is at a time where we get together. This is like, none of this is a positive experience, okay? Don't get me wrong, it's horrible. But yeah, that's how my Christmas feels these days. I'm always thinking about family members that we've lost. I'm always thinking about friends who I don't speak to anymore. For some reason, it just really comes up at this time. I've never had a relationship. I'm a single woman, and I'm happy to be single, and I really don't mind. And I would rather be alone than with the wrong person. Sometimes I see people in relationships and I'm like, whew, I'm glad that's not me. You know what I mean? So it's okay. But during the holidays, sometimes I do get lonely because it's romantic, you know, and to be in love, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, that's always a little, I don't know, it's cuffing season, guys. What can I say? But yeah, those are my thoughts on grief and the holidays. And if you feel comfortable to, and you would like to, please feel free to share your experience in the comments. Maybe we can comfort each other and connect and share our stories, because I know that I'm not the only one with this. And yeah, shout out to my grandpa. Love him, will always love him. I'm glad to have known him for so many years, and he's very missed. And I think that was all of the sadness that I wanted to share in this video. I really had it on my list to make a video like this in this series. I hope that this brought you some comfort. And yeah, I think it's time for me to rate the tea that I haven't touched. I think this is a 7.5 for me. The licorice isn't that strong, which I prefer, and the peppermint is soft. I feel like it's blended really well. And I really like peppermint, especially after dinner, like soothing my tummy. I really feel like this would hit the spot. So I think this is our highest rating so far, maybe. I'm not sure, but this is a 7.5 for day 9. All right, I'm gonna eat my snack. The builders are done with their break. They're drilling again, so I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Here's a forehead kiss. I'm really sending you all my love, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!